the switch. I was,
Oh, okay. That's what happens all the time, right? Want me to reverse it?
see, no, all right, you reverse. Hey, you're not so loud here. You're on television.
Where we can, you want up on the...
On the bench.
On the bench?
Yeah, one of those hooks there.
On the
Got a
hook.
hook.
Oh, that's
Oh,
Yes, yes, sir.
Ready to sit. Okay, run this one might be real going in there.
If I mentioned some relative in the second paragraph, in the third paragraph, they'd be...
yeah, the clips.
We'll split it up.
Yeah.
A couple of greenies that got in there.
Ding, 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 ding.
Thank you, Angie.
Okay, after this comes
Yeah, he's main line and...
Okay, we'll all take our seats.
So let out,
And I'm holding,
okay.
holding that train.
How are you doing? You got your power on?
I got the power on.
Okay, you call it go.
Oh, excuse me, man.
Track 1 north, you want out
No,
too?
but I didn't turn
Track
up.
1 north also. Now, today every train will stop on track 1 south going, and then we'll clear it.
Every train stops on track 1 south?
Yeah, because right now, anyway, we kick it up, George.
It's up. It's all the way. It's all the way, sir. Got all the juice I can give it.
Yeah, right.
I never fixed it.
It's okay. No, it's fine. It's going good.
That drain on there, that's big.
Yeah, now you're lost. You're running down the hill. He's running up. Ant is running down below. Now you can clear the causeway. Track 10. That's a little too slow. Okay, compare that way on track 1 south.
Track 1 south.
Broadway.
Broadway, okay.
Right, well, we're coming right up on you. Stay lying down now, Bob. You're running there.
B&O standing by track 1 south.
Clear the B&O.
B&O departing from Molasses Hill.
Clear the oil train. Track 4 north.
Okay, track 4 north will depart. B&O departing Hillsdale for Prairieville.
B&O freight moving down for the hill.
B&O freight to the hill.
Hold the tank. B&O,
Broadway departing Hillsdale for Prairieville.
That's 4. B&O now leaving from Clairville. Hillsdale. Well, is your speaker on? Yeah. Dad, talk to your speaker. Clear the ear, clear the ear, clear the ear. Yeah.
Do you hear me? There is no need for the headset. Or headset.
Running the yard, we're running the... Okay.
67A clear.
67A clear?
Yep.
You made it.
You did.
Well, so far.
Yay, so far we have.
What about the coal train over there?
Huh?
The coal train right under your nose.
I know that, that's got to stop. All right, now throw your main switch up there on top. On the board, on the board. Okay.
CNO departing from Molasses Hill.
No, we're not running the back.
Look out there. Look out there.
You better get down there, Angie, or old Fettuccine is gonna wind up.
Look at that.
Hey,
Look at that baby go.
Angie, you better get down that Craryville siding.
There she goes.
You better hold it there, because the other one will...
Wait till the other one gets over. That's Angie.
Is that what it says?
There she goes.
Angie's nickname. Huh? Who's got the other lower level? You got the whole thing. No, I haven't.
What's this? That's a yo-yo train.
The Golden Spike ceremony was Jerry Starris, myself, Tony Dunn, and Ray Heasel had come into our group. Ray was the superintendent at the Taconic State Parkway, lived in Craryville. So the three of us, the four of us continued, and Ray moved, retired. So in 1973, Tom Krasowski, a retired policeman from New York City, he saw the sign and he saw what one asked about it. We went down to the cellar and he started coming. And Tom brought friends of his over from Massachusetts, John Dakin, Nick Diller, Bob Stringham. He was a retired conductor from the New Haven Railroad, Bob Burkhart. And we continued to build the railroad. In 1976, Bob Burkhart left us for the summer because they hired him to go up to Steamtown and work as a conductor on the steam railroad for the bicentennial. So Bob was gone for the entire summer, and we continued building. And when we got to around 1980, we had basically completed the entire layout, landscaped it, and we're down to all the track was down, our yards were down, houses were all put in place, some with lights. This was about 1980. With all our train shows, we had a night scene. One of our members was a carpenter and a set builder for Paramount Pictures. And he was very intelligent, John Mortensen. And for example, we wanted to turn the lights off at night for a night scene so everybody could see the trains running in the dark with their illuminated passenger cars, and they could see all the villages with all the lights, street lights, traffic lights, lights in the houses. And so we'd have the night scene, and it was John's was the one that we would turn the lights off, but it would become dangerously dark. So he said, well, let's put up some blue floodlights. So we put 2 or 3 blue floodlights in various areas, and that did not affect the night scene, and it was just enough illumination so that people could walk safely around the layout when we did have our night scenes. That book, 101 track plan, 101 layouts for realistic operation. On page 4 or 5, there was a model railroad plan for the Erie Railroad. We did build a viaduct out with real stone, and that was where we got our track plan, with additions.
No train sold after the magazine leaves the station.
Is this any way you would run a railroad?
Is this any way to run a railroad?
All right, we want to try to correct it now, right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, let me get
Reverse?
Let me get
No, wait, Bob. Let's do it over and you do it right.
Well, go ahead. I might have to help it, Pat.
Huh?
We're gonna back it up?
Yeah, but you gotta have that main power pack on reverse too.
Oh.
Because the engine, Ted, reverse.
Dad, reverse the main.
It's gonna work. It's gonna work.
Jesus, it looks like it's gonna. Go ahead. Forward.
Forward. Forward thrust.
Boy, did we look out on that one.
Now stop everything. Stop everything.
Hold it.
Another one.
No, because 2197, you're gonna have a cornfield meet yet.
Where is it? Down the hole?
From 67.8.
Oh, you got it.
About 6 feet.
Yeah.
Huh?
6 feet.
About 6 feet.
Now,
That'll be all right at 67.
Are you worried down there?
No.
and that's on the inside? Just a minute. 2197 is coming up.
Right here.
Huh?
Right there.
It's on this list up.
My transformer.
All right, then, we'll do this. Switch throw. Okay, let everything go.
It'll work.
We fell like that.
All right, 2197. Now we go, huh?
Uncoupled and derailed.
and then derailed, then uncoupled.
It did both.
It took us about 10 years to really complete the railroad, scenicking it, putting lights in houses, and then we spent the next 35 years just running it, maintenance, cleaning it up for the shows. And around 1975 or 6, we had Val Mikowski joined us. He lived at the bottom of Molasses Hill, going towards South Egremont, and he was an art teacher at Monument Mountain. And he started by painting us a scene on the cement wall of the Catskill the mountains in Catskill with a river, and then he also started on 4x8 sheets of it was like a fiber board, and he had roughed out a landscape and started to paint it, and then he moved. So he had a woman from Copake Falls, or Copake, Carol E. Miller. She finished all of the paintings for the backdrop that went along the east wall of the layup. Through the years, we had a number of members. They would come to the show and see the show, and then next you know, they would be members. We had Ted Fish, who joined us in the late 70s. He lived in Athens, New York. And around 1982 or 3, we had a man from Taborton that came down every Friday night. And shortly thereafter, then we had Harold Pfeiffer from Claverick. And finally, Mike Streeter from Copake. I guess our newest member was Art Brown, who joined us in about 2006, 08. Another one, he came for a dental appointment, saw the sign, and we showed him the railroad, and he became a member. 2000, 2001 or 2, the National NMRA, National Model Railroad Association, had a convention here in Northeast Convention in the United States. And the main show where they had places where you could go and buy trains and equipment was in West Hartford. And our railroad, along with others, were part of a tour where people could come and watch the trains operate. And that was an NMRA show. And there we had our railroad running. There was a railroad down at Pine Plains. And there might have been one or two other railroads, model railroads. Starting in '73, that we had people coming telling us that they came to our shows by their grandparents and parents, and in fact there were some where we had 3 generations of a family who had witnessed our shows. We drew a fairly decent crowd. It was always in December, November, December, and of course we had the summer one in July or in August. This summer one we advertised in the train magazines, and so we had a number of people coming from Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, to our open house when we had it in the summertime. And through the years, we had our first train show in 1973. It wasn't much of a show because it wasn't much done as far as landscaping. But every year from then on, we would have a train show in the summer and also an open house just before Christmas. And this went on until the railroad was no longer in operation, which was in 2016. So we started in 1970, and we had trains running until 2016. That's when they sold the office, and the railroad had to be dismantled. it was a layout that we were truly proud of. We had a lot of fun with it, and I think a lot of people enjoyed seeing it through the years.